Started linebackers coach Darius Eubanks. Questions for Coach Eubanks? Rod?
Coach, in the offseason, you picked up a couple of pretty good linebackers in the portal. What have they brought to the room?
Well, for me, being new, this is my first time seeing everybody. But that group that I have in that room, it's a good group. Good, really talented group. Guys with some experience at other schools. Then we got guys that were already here that had some experience. So one thing I'm preaching right now is just competition, because I think that brings out the best in everybody. So again, everybody in our room is new for me just from being a new coach here.
Go.
It seems like Kyle's trimmed up. I know you wanted to have some position flexibility with guys be able to roll either side. What have you seen from him with his reshaped body and being able to maybe run a little bit better?
You said Kyle, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's what I seen on film. He's gonna go 110%. Every day. One thing I preach to my guys, and part of him now because he missed spring, but he's back now is. Nowadays with the game, the evolution of the offenses, they're asking linebackers to make a lot of plays in space. So, when you look at our individual drills, you'll see a lot of change of directions. Yes, we're going to still work block destruction, tackling, but it's probably a lot of more change of direction drills, agility drills than these guys are used to. But I'm excited to have them back. You kind of feel them on the field too, which is great. So I've been excited with them.
Question is about Taj Butler. Obviously, he's a sophomore now. I know.
Tajay.
Tajay Butler. Just what's your thoughts on him and his progression and his growth so far?
Oh, he's developing. He's growing. I saw it this summer with him. Just saw how things was clicking with him. He has a serious man. Even as a young guy, I always try to preach to guys, man, be a pro. Take care of your body. Really dive deep into the film if you want to be great. If you want to be average, then just do the bare minimum. But he wants to be great. He wants me to push him every day. He learns from the older guys, so therefore he don't make the same mistake. But he has that body type that you're looking for. And that's all I can ask, somebody that want to come to work every day, and he brings it.
Chad?
You see a scenario where you've got maybe 3, even 4 of your guys on the field at the same time?
I got a lot of good players, in my opinion. And that's the thing. I know somebody brought up position flexibility. That's what I believe in. So if you guys watch that practice today, I'm rotating 5 guys or so, and it's mix and match. And that says a lot about those guys learning multiple positions too. So they're taking a challenge. If you want to get reps, guess what? You need to learn multiple positions. They're taking a challenge with that. But yes, we're running some base. Coach BG got a lot of base calls, so we're running a little bit of base. So you may see 3 linebackers out there.
Colin?
Kamen's an interesting guy. He's put on a lot of weight. He got much bigger after being in your strength program for the last 8 months now. What have you seen from him? What does he kind of bring to the table?
He's one of those guys. Honestly, during the spring, he was a guy just wanted to have, focus on one position. Focus on one position. Then challenged him this count, hey, I'm going to kind of swing you around a little bit, all right? And he's taking that challenge. You talk about a freak athlete that can run and go, he's that guy. So, again, he's one that want to be coached hard, that whole room does. So, but he's a good one. He's a good one.
Right.
Hamilton's a kid that last year, when you got some injuries, he was the one that stepped up and didn't miss a beat. With how the linebackers were playing. What are your expectations for him this year?
Just stay ready, so you got to get ready. That's for everybody. And I also preach to my backers, not just Hamilton, but all of them is, hey, be a special teams guy. Definitely if you want to play at the next level. That's where it starts at. That's where your opportunity starts at, the special teams. And they can start to trust you on special teams as time go on. Then guess what? You start to get those reps defensively at the next level. That's kind of how I started for me as well. So I just try to, make sure that they're, able to play multiple positions, which he has. He's rotated at Mike. He's rotated at Dime. He's rotated at Sam. And he executes at a fairly decent level. And then also, when it comes to special teams. And, it's a long season. We plan to play a lot of games here. So just got to stay ready when your number's called.
No, sir.
Coach, you talked about obviously position flexibility, but I want to get your thoughts on just versatility overall of the position. And we see a lot of times offenses trying to isolate the linebacker in coverage and taking them one-on-one to kind of help advantageous situations. Just what's your thoughts on that and having kind of a versatile group?
At the end of the day, some guys are still going to do some things better than others. Yes. Even though I think they're a really good athlete, we got good athletes in the room, there's still probably 2 or 3 guys that maybe cover better than the other 3 or 4 guys. So if we get caught in that predicament, hey, I need the guy that covers the best. I need him to go out and be one-on-one on the tight end. So it's still a lot of thinking into. I just don't throw 2 guys out there and be like, hey, you do this job, you do that job. Hey, let's show what the offense give us, and then let's work to our advantage.
EJ was a guy that came on last year, hadn't played in almost 3 years at that point, and was playing well, had a good spring for you. What have you seen from him so far?
He's picking up right where he did from the spring, to be honest. He's really taking care of his body. EJ's a fairly quiet guy off the field. One thing I'm continuing to challenge him on is, and he communicates on the field, you have to as a linebackers. And that's one thing we're continuing to preach to our group. But sometimes, even off the field, or sometimes, grabbing guys to the side, I do think he has those leadership, he can gain those leadership qualities, and I think he has the respect of the locker room, because he works hard. He works hard, he busts his tail, and that's all you can ask for as a coach, and then also as a peer, as a teammate.
How about, Blake Gideon and working with him in his first year, and how have you guys evolved your relationship?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great, man. Blessed that BG was, thought that I was worthy enough to come be a part of his staff, and definitely grateful of that. He's a guru as far, definitely when it comes to the coverage. So I'm growing every day in that aspect. I'm always asking him questions too. Hey, like BG, what you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because I want to continue to learn and grow as a coach as well. And sometimes we talk about fits. I show him how I see it, and then vice versa. Like later on today, we'll probably sit back and watch Inside together. So and just talk about fits or whatnot. But it's been great. It's been a great opportunity here.
Okay.
Melvin's a guy who brought a lot of experience here. Very good at coverage in his previous stop. Kind of what do you need to see from him, and what have you seen so far from him that you like?
Now, he's one that's, you talk about IQ, a lot of experience, instincts. He's one that I have playing multiple positions as well. And he's kind of picked up where he has in the spring, too. I've been very, very, very pleased with Mel. It don't matter who he out there with, I can pair him up with anybody, and I can trust that he's going to execute his job at a high level. And that's, as a ball coach, that's the main thing for me. I do want good athletes. I want guys that's going to get off of blocks, and tackle, but I got to be able to trust guys that I can trust out there on the field, and he's definitely one of them. And he's going to continue to grow. He's not perfect out there. Nobody is. He takes to the coaching as well, but I'm definitely excited to have him in the room.
Okay.
Has it been helpful as a guy with a lot of experience coaching the secondary to have Coach Gideon and that kind of impact and the feedback and the way you can bounce things off of him in terms of coverages and what he would like to do with the linebacker?
Yeah. Sometimes when he's talking to the DB coaches, Coach Jones and Coach Peoples, I be listening as if he's talking to me. Like you said, being a DB coach for my first 6-7 years of my career, and last year being my first year coaching linebackers, still have a lot of growth here, and I want to continue to grow at that position. But like I said, all around, I want to continue to grow and learn. So it's been good being with a guy like BG, because I've learned a lot in the coverage since the spring to now. And like I said, I had been coaching previously for 6-7 years prior to that, and to come here and learn even more, I'm like, okay, this is a great opportunity for me to continue to grow as a coach as well.
Anything else?